You are welcome to the Premier Top 4 podcast. The Premier Top 4 podcast. The podcast where the fans come and then analyze the matches and then banter each other. Tonight we have 4 matches to analyze and banter, but I have 2 fans here, one for the Chelsea and then one for Manchester United. We are going to touch on the Chelsea match, the United match, the Liverpool match, and then the Arsenal versus Tottenham as well. So if you are here, don't go anywhere. We are going to have an exciting time because these two that I know are going to go at each other. I know them. So don't go anywhere. Don't swipe, don't do anything, just listen or watch us. We are going to have a good time. So before I continue, I want to introduce my guest. My good friend in the Chelsea jersey, what's your name and introduce yourself?
I'm Joey Boy, Chelsea for life, the pride of London. And London is always blue.
As you can see, the pride is coming. He's trying to brag and show who he is. So my good friend in the United jersey. So which team do you support and what's your name?
Well, you've already said it. Manchester United, the Red Devils, the biggest club in England. So my name is Michael. So apart from being a fan, I'm an FA coach. So for the grassroots, so we're talking football today. So no worries. I see you. Let's go.
As you can see, we have coaches, we have diehard fans. We are going to go deep into it. And my name is Chris. I am a Chelsea fan as well, but I'll try to be fair as possible. But since I'm a Chelsea fan, I can't promise you. I'm sorry, I can't. I can't promise you that I'll be fair, but then I'll try. I'll try to be. I'll try to be fair. I'll try to be fair. Okay. So before I don't want to waste much time. Let's go into the match of the day. We have the first match that I want to talk about is the match between Manchester United and Southampton. Manchester United and Southampton. So because I'm talking about the Manchester United match, I'll go to the Manchester United fan that we have here, just to see if he has the ball knowledge as he claims. He claims he's an FA coach and all that. So let's see. Mr. Michael, what's the lineup that Ten Hag went with?
Okay, so talking about Ten Hag and his lineup, I always tell you guys, well, I think you especially, Chris, I've always said that with Manchester United right now, it's a building team, and we are yet to get the pattern. I would not support the coach and say, "Oh, we've gotten it right," but still playing the two holding midfielders, and having Bruno play a free role that it looks like he's lost, sadly, but that's still the approach we've been doing. We may have gotten new players, but the system needs to change. The system needs to change. So week in, week out, for the last 12 months, the same approach, the same pattern, and hoping to get results. So the 4-2-2-1, 4-2-2-2 that transforms to 4-2-3-1 really does not work because it keeps the strikers lonely. We have Zeke now, and we don't play pullouts for crosses for a 6-foot striker. So these are some fundamental issues. But with the strategy we have on ground and with Van Nistelrooy on the background, we are hoping that maybe the team will begin to get shape. But as
Okay, fans,
honestly,
I'm sorry to cut him.
it's working.
I'm sorry to cut him, but when your team is bad, this is what you do. I asked a simple question of telling me the lineup, and you go ahead to complain about the tactics and all that.
Yes, because that lineup is not giving anything. It's really not giving anything.
So you know what, Michael, sorry to cut you, but start from the who was the keeper, and then from the defense to the attack. Let us know the lineup. Let's go.
Okay, so we have David De Gea. Sorry, what am I saying? Penalty stopper.
You see, an FA coach who can't even mention the keeper.
It just skipped my head. You can imagine, like, honestly, Like honestly, it's crazy. It's crazy. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But like, I wish we could get the gear back because we need senior players in that team. So Onana, oh God, I'm happy he saved the penalty, but I'm not happy he saved the penalty. But
Bro,
that's for
bro,
another
it's that
another
simple.
day.
Onana, delete this, and let's move forward.
No,
That's all we want.
Chris. Okay, so anyway, it's good he said it. Okay, so let's go straight to the point. So we had Onana, we had Delit, we had Lisandro Martinez, Mazawari. I love that guy. Diego Dalot and Kobe Maino, Christian Eriksen. I still don't understand the fundamental around that, but anyway. Then Marcus Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, Amad Diallo, and Zike. That makes
Is it Zegzi?
yeah, but I call him Zike.
Zegzi.
Zike.
Is it the Nigerian version of Zegzi?
Zegzi.
It's Zike.
Joshua Zike. You heard the name
Okay.
in the Euros. That's how the guy
Yeah.
pronounced his name.
Oh, okay. But we Ghanaians we call him Zegzi.
Oh,
Sexy
like
Zegzi.
you just with all these names, you can't pronounce the way that they spell it and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
you know,
Okay. Okay. So to myself. So Owusu, how did you see the match? How do you see the match in general? From a neutral point of view. I always want to take that before I come back to the France point of view. So from a neutral point of view, how did you see the match?
Well, as for United, I will never like them, and it's for sure. But what we saw yesterday, it was something that catches the eye. But they shouldn't be too happy. I'm trying to be fair. I'm trying to be neutral, but the thing is still coming. You get it. So for all being said, it was a good game. They did well. At least coming back from international break with some of your players being on the first team of on their country's list and getting a 3-0 win. I think it was away, right? Yeah, they did very well. So for now, we can say kudos to them, but there's more to come. So that's my point right here.
Okay, so I want to go to the FA coach. The first 25 minutes, Southampton dominated the match. They even missed a penalty and all that. What happened in the first 25 minutes? Can you break it down for us?
okay, so Manchester United, like I said, in the last 12 months, the approach is about suffering. And while watching the game, that is part of what I was saying about Ten Hag. Even smaller teams, we can break down. We are sitting, waiting for the press and trying to hit on the counter attack. So Southampton as a team over the last, the first two games of this season, they've been playing fairly good football, good with the possession, trying to make those passes through the middle. So they look like a team that know what they are doing, but probably they don't have the skill set to implement the full damage. So what has happened in that first 25-30 minutes is a team trying to go at United because they with that confidence of the team will panic. Let's get the first goal and see how it goes from there. So, and Man United trying to sit down to understand, what is this opponent? What are they trying to do? Who are we going to mark? What is their approach? Try to break them down. Every time we play, be it a whatever team, even so, with Manchester United now, we are suffering because the team just sits back, wait for the opponent to come, then try to grow in confidence into the game. It almost looks like a Ten Hag style. I don't want to use the word we are used to it, but clearly every week we are seeing it. Poor Southampton couldn't convert the penalty. I wish they did so that we see the true character because I love my team. I don't know what Ten Hag is doing there, but honestly, with the approach, with the quality we have, we should control games. We should control the pace of the tempo of the game and hurt the opponent as quick as possible.
Okay, so Usu, what do you think of the first 25 minutes?
Myself or Owusu now?
Usu, yeah, Usu.
Well, like Michael was saying, Southampton is a team that got relegated and then they found their way back. So obviously they were trying to prove a point. And looking at a team like United, where they've been suffering, they've not been consistent like us. So they felt that going strong at them in the first or in the early minutes would just prove out something. But it was quite unfortunate that they couldn't convert that penalty that he wanted them to convert. I didn't even know what the guy was thinking when he played that ball. Because there's like it's like a cheap ball given to you to score. Just equalize and continue doing your thing. Because they really controlled the first 25 minutes until they missed the penalty, and it's like all of a sudden their confidence dropped. And then United saw that there was a way to also go at them, and then the goal started flowing. So yeah, fairly they did well, but Southampton they let themselves down because you had a chance at goal and you missed it. So they should take the blame. And United too did well. Coming, like I was saying, coming from the international break and then getting a 3-0 win over Southampton. They should be proud. But it's
Okay,
early
okay,
days.
okay. So the United fans, let's talk about some positives. You know, Delit had his first goal for United. What do you think, Michael? How
Yeah,
did you see that goal?
I was so excited. Delit is a player that I love. Coming from Manchester, from Ajax to Juventus. You know, honestly, he did not do anything for Bayern Munich as far as I'm concerned. But in these two clubs, you know, it's a player that we need for the team, especially with set pieces. We are very poor with set pieces. Last year, we had Casemiro trying to convert a few of them, and it doesn't look like it's not like it was a training ground stuff. It looked like Casemiro was just trying to improvise, working on the strengths of the set piece taker and attacking these areas. But with Delit, even with that goal, it clearly looked like it was a training ground practice. The approach from the short corner from Ericsson to Bruno, the fake passing to Ericsson that he did not make, creating the space, the attack, the defense was found flat-footed, the attack. So typical Delit. It was also a difficult goal because of the position he was taking, the position to bend down and get that ball back to where it was coming from. Then the bounce also helped the goal. Fantastic stuff for him. And watching that match, I was so excited for the goal, not just as a United fan, considering what happened to him during the international break, getting sub, the getting blamed, and with the banters online as well, saying, "Oh, look at this defender that Manchester United." But I think putting him on in the starting lineup was at least part of the way to just boost the morale to say, you know what, go and prove yourself, go and get this thing done. And the goal was just, in fact, it's just the first of many to come because he knows how to take these positions to score goals. So good one for him.
Okay, so just continue from there with you. Rashford also scored after 189 days of goal
Crazy,
drought. How do you
crazy.
see that, United fans?
Well, I wish he can continue because even with the goal drought, it looks there's still some bit of inconsistency with Rashford, and in fact, he needs to prove himself this season because after the World Cup magic, the goals he scored, and everything. After that season, then he came back, he's quiet, and now we're in another season. He needs to. They need to be like a big shakedown with him. The club were happy for him. The fans were happy for him. The coach, if you watch the match, Van Nistelrooy had more reaction than even the coach. Like I'm sure he's responsible for the attack. So, you love to see your attackers scoring. So, but he really needs to get his confidence back and focus more on the game. I think he has too many distractions outside the pitch, which is not good for him. So, good luck to him. Well, there will be tougher opponents. Southampton is just, there will be Chelsea, there will be Manchester City. So he needs to get his act going. Yeah.
I want you to focus on all the positives for now. So Garnacho also scored again. This guy keeps scoring, but he keeps benching. What's happening there?
Okay, so with Garnacho, there is Well, I'm not the coach, but if I were the coach, I would say he needs to manage his personality. I've been following Garnacho from the youth system, fantastic player. And I think the promotion from the youth team to the senior team was due because at some point he felt like he was bigger than the team, that's the youth team. So coming into the senior team, he had Ronaldo, his icon, trying to play under him and those stuff. And if you see before the match, they were talking about the his comment on Cristiano Ronaldo's page. How the press has a way of doing some shakedowns. But clearly the coach had his approach. We are trying to give Ahmad some game time and with Rashford, trying to boost his confidence. So Zixke with as you call him Zegzi, I call him Zike. So with Zegzi, you just when you buy a player, you have to give him game time. You not spend the money and put him on the bench. You get castigated for that. So Garnacho needs. I won't say he cannot earn his place in the team, but I think he needs to put his ego together. He's very young with this age of the press, social media, and all that stuff. He needs to get himself together so that he focus more on the game. If I were the coach, I'd probably start him from the bench too because of his pace. Come when defenders are less effective, they're not as strong, it can impact the game. If you even watch last season, most of his goals came from the bench. And in his stint in Man U senior team, it's really been like just come get at players those last 10 minutes, those last 15 minutes, and get his goal. But he needs to get his ego together to end that first team shirt.
So do you think he's better than Ahmad? Or Ahmad is better than him? What do you think? The two players, if you are comparing them.
Oh, like for like is tough because Ahmad has really not gotten his time. Performing at the big stage is different. Ahmad has proved himself in championship like 2 seasons back to back. Garnacho has been in the youth system and has proved himself back to back. Though there might be different scenarios, but um, like in Africa we call Game Boy. Garnacho is the Game Boy. He's the guy that wants to come with flair, wants to come with. Ahmad is a direct player. His German approach. Just let's get to the game and impact it. So, well, if I were to pick, honestly, I still go for Alejandro. If I were to pick, sadly, I would go for Alejandro. Yeah.
So also, who would you go for? Ahmad versus Garnacho?
Well, like you're saying, it's difficult to pick. There are two young players coming up. One has had his time with the senior team, and the other one too is also trying to gain his feet in the senior team. So they have two personalities, two different personalities. One wants to follow the steps of senior man Ronaldo, and the other one too is bringing his own style. He brings the flair, as he said, and Ahmad is those kind of players. They want to go direct at you, just go and do the job, and just come back and just get a win. But Garnacho has that ego, that sort of attitude. You feel like, yeah, that's me. I can do it. You can't show me anything. So yeah, it's very difficult to choose between them. But when you know how to manage these players, you know when to bring who at the right time, and they will just win the game for you. So yeah, I think that's it.
So it looks like substitutions have been so vital in the Premier League these days. All the matches that you see, because of the five subs that the coaches have, you can see that every coach is using it like very well, and then it's really impacting all the matches and all that. So I think it's good. It's good that you have options and all that. But let's pivot right into the Chelsea match. I want us to go right into it. It is something that we need to talk about. My goodness, the Maresca ball. So I want us to talk about the match. I think there's something that it is very vital whenever I talk about Chelsea. Chelsea fielded the youngest squad in the league, the youngest squad in the league. Before we even talk about the match, Owusu, what do you think about the club's new policy of going for only young players? And do you think it is a good thing that eventually it can lead to the club winning the league or something like that?
It's a new ownership. They have their plans and all of that in place, but Chelsea is used to buying proven players who will come from other clubs and just do their thing, win us the trophies we've been enjoying for the past 2 decades, right? So I don't the patience all lies with the patience of the fans. If the fans are not happy and they are not getting the results they want, then there's some sort of conflict between the results that are coming out and how the fans are also going to take it. So for now, we can only exercise patience as fans, but we are used to winning. You can't win one match, lose one, draw one, and win again. We are used to win. Maybe one draw, we lose. The system is reset. We come back, then we just hit it like that. The Conte's era and the Mourinho's era. They've. It's like something that has been imbibed in us. If you're a recent Chelsea fan from 2000 till now, we are used to winning. So this thing is like sort of new. So with the new players that are coming in, we can see the talents. They are very raw talents. I think going forward, if this season we are not well placed on the league table, they should consider bringing some proven players from elsewhere who are going to help us push us forward, and then we'll see how we can blend the two. But with the new boys, like young players going all out, it's going to be very difficult to match the likes of Arne Slot's Liverpool, Manchester United, and the citizens. It's going to be very difficult.
And let me
So
just let me just put this in. I saw a post on Instagram where Madueke was I would say there's a Nigerian here. How do you mention that name? What's the correct pronunciation for
You
the
pronounce
name?
it well.
Correct us.
Madueke, like it's Igbo,
Madueke. Okay.
Madueke.
Madueke. So thank you for that. So I saw a post where Tosin, another Nigerian, correct us. How do we say it?
That's correct to Tosin.
Is it what Tosin?
Tosin Adebarayo. Yeah, sure that's the guy.
So Tosin, yeah. So Tosin made a post, and then Madueke went under the post to say Uncle Tosin because he's 26 years. They call him Uncle Tosin. That's how young the team is now. 26 years
yeah,
is uncle in that team. It is
yeah.
ridiculous, actually. So let's continue. Let's continue. There was no Enzo in the lineup. There's no Gusto. So Owusu, can you take us to the lineup? What was the first 11 that the coach went for?
Um, yeah. So hold on, let me just
Yeah.
get my. So our lineup: Robert Sanchez started in the post with Dizazi, Kukureya, Colwell, Fofana, Neto, and what did you say? Madueke.
You've
Yeah,
done well, yeah.
Madueke, Renato, Caicedo, Palmer, of course, all in the lineup. And as we call Jackson in Ghana, yeah, Jackson was a striker. He likes to break our hearts, but Charlie, we still love him. We still love him, man.
I think
These
Vega had his first start, right? You know, took Vega.
Yeah, Renato Viega had his first start. I think in the early minutes of the game, it was kind of tough because I think he wasn't used to where he was playing, or if Bournemouth were so aggressive in the early minutes, we couldn't even do what we wanted to do. So he struggled a bit, but I think his confidence grew into the game, and in the second half, we saw how he was delivering the passes, making the tackles, and it seems we were getting things right when a few changes came in. So my take on our game, I think I had a few problem with Disasi. He has let us down because he looked to be leaking all the time. Every ball that went straight at him was like, come and pass, come and pass, come and pass. It was so easy to go around him. Whilst Kukurea, this short man, how can a black man like you, Disasi, just be whining and whining? Then Kukurela is also always on his feet. Even Kukurela in the middle was even doing better. So Disasi let us down, and it's good. Maresca realized that he was the leaking agent in our system. So he got him out, and then replaced him with Tosin. And replaced him with Tosin, and Tosin went back, and Fofana came to the right right back. As for Malo Gusto and Enzo missing the game, I think it was a test for us to see if we don't have these guys, how are we going to perform? And in our conference league squad list, we don't have somebody like I think Cole Palmer and a few first team players. So it's all to test how the balance is going to be when we finally lose some of these players to suspensions, injuries, or whatever may come along the season. Overall, I think my perspective on the match was that it looked very boring as a Chelsea fan. But if you are not a Chelsea fan in the first half, you'll be so thrilled because they kept coming at us like almost all the time. It was very difficult for us to control the game. But when the changes came and we had Sancho Lele and the other guys coming in, I think it was balanced. And I'm so happy that Sancho was able to record an assist. And Nkuku also came 12 minutes to the close of the game and he got his goal. And
You
then
know
we
what? Owusu, we will get there. We will get
will
there.
get
I
there.
always tell them we will get there. Just relax, relax for me.
Yeah, so
Sancho. Sorry, Sanchez. He made a save, a penalty save. What do you think on him? Like your take, because I know most Chelsea fans like me, we don't like him,
Hmm.
but for some reason he did so well in our match. What do you think? What do you think? So let me go to a neutral point of view on him because I know that you are a Chelsea fan, you don't like him, so I don't want to even ask you. So our FA coach, what do you think on Sanchez?
Yeah. So you guys are the Chelsea fans. I would say he's not Maresca's player, but the previous coach may have known what they saw in Sanchez to have brought him to the club. I think Sanchez just needs to improve in confidence. When you're coming from, you are a king in a small club and you come to a big club, it can swallow you. That is typically what is happening with Sanchez. He's a good goalkeeper, so but he has a lot of points to prove, especially the fact that he was, I don't want to was forced to be number one, but they brought him and the coach said, this is my player, he has to be in the post. But overall, he's a good goalie, both on the foot, in the and with the hand. I'm a Man U fan, but the guy is good. Sanchez is good. So, but he
So the question
yes.
is, will you swap him for Nana?
Well, we are in a player swap and stealing. You guys have taken Sancho, so if we have the chance, why not? We should because really Onana should be a player, not a goalkeeper. Commentary people have said it, Africans have said it, commentators have said it. He's better on the foot than some midfielders in the Premier League. If in his level of accuracy in passes, long balls and all that stuff. But like if you watch the overlap, they will also say that they don't even know what he's doing in the post because the permanent task of saving goals is a disaster.
So you are saying on record that you will choose Sanchez over
Well,
Onana.
that's me. I'm one Man U fan. I'm not ETH. I will choose. Like I said, I'm here to talk football, talk real football. As a coach, goalkeeper development person, well, over the two of them, I would choose. For the side of football I want to play, I will go Raya, Sanchez. For the side of
Okay. So we have agreed on that. So let's go to the next issue about the match. Something that I was not happy about. For some reason, this particular referee, every time he sees Chelsea, he finds a way of causing trouble or being the center of attraction. How on earth did this particular match warrant 14 yellow cards, which is a Premier League record? Osu, what do you think?
so with Anthony Taylor, I think right now he has taken matters into his own hands to destroy us. And I don't know if he has the blessing of the FA because ever since our match with Barcelona, was it in Stamford Bridge or in the Camp Nou? Ever since that match, I've decided never ever to talk about refereeing again because it's clear that these people are against us. I don't know whether it was Abramovich or it was the rising Chelsea. But for some funny reasons, this guy keeps coming at us almost all the time. You have his records, and this is a match where somebody will just look at Sancho's yellow card for example. He wasn't swearing at you. He just came to just make a complaint, not harshly, and then you just flew it. How do you um account for this? So as for Anthony Taylor, I just want to reserve my comments on him because if I start getting into the details of it, I might be saying things that I'm not supposed to say on record. So let's just put it aside. It didn't warrant 14 yellow cards, but anyway, right now we are the Premier League record holders for the most yellow cards in a game. So
And
and I think
do you know the funny part? The
yeah,
record before this one was also a Chelsea match between Chelsea and Tottenham, which is
see,
something that makes sense. It's a derby match.
it's a debut
Everyone
match.
wants to win. It makes
Yeah,
sense. But
yeah.
Chelsea versus Bournemouth, who cares? Why would the players
It's
do that? Okay, let
you
me ask
know
from someone who is not a Chelsea fan and how they see Anthony Taylor. I don't know. Maybe if it's just us or it's a general thing.
they love
Michael,
him.
what do you think?
They love him
Okay,
on record. They love
when
him.
Owusu started, I was thinking he would say, Anthony Taylor, Manchester United referee, because that's what everybody thinks. But I'm going to surprise you that I have friends, interestingly now, that are referees because I did a course in laws of the game, and so you get referees' perception about some things in the game. Now, I learned something recently from a referee that says that apart from the laws, the first 15 minutes of a game determines how the game would be managed. So if you don't get control of the game in the first 15 minutes as an official, you may lose grip of the game totally. I was watching the game, and at some point I said, when you want to accuse a woman, you say it's like a woman is in her period. That's why she has. When the cars were flying, I'm like, what's this for? Owusu said something about swear words. The thing about swear words is you are not there. Even if Sancho comes to the press to say there was no swear word, sometimes just the little things can offend these referees. I watch the club I work with is in the Itmer League, just like two levels below the national. And those guys swear at the referee at every given opportunity. Sometimes I'm like, if I'm the referee, they are going to suffer. Like, I'll just be that dishing because they're like a captain told the referee, "You fucking made me move 100 yards to just come and advise me. Fuck you," and he was going, and the referee just ignored. But the point I'm just saying is, sometimes too, as humans, we need to manage temperament. I think Taylor was, maybe he was offended. Maybe the hotel they kept him, or he had a bad journey because if you, I think, I remember there's
We
a
are not
particular
born
yellow
off.
card for Bournemouth. I'm like, Semenyo, guy, like, it was just like, let's get this guy out of the pitch. Like, time, we're one down. You just turn back and you just like, you just, and I'm like, 3 yellow cards were needless. Jackson's own from nowhere. Sancho, no, see, like I said, even if he used the swear word or whatever he said, sometimes at the way the tempo of that game was, you have to manage the temperament. You see some referees sending players back, like you see them saying, "Go away," command the game. Sometimes the vocal, so the FA too has protected these guys. So whatever they do, that is in the maximum support they have. Whatever they do, even in our coaching course, they will say, you know what, the referee's decision is final. Even with the laws of the game, they are the one in the pitch. They use their discretion to make certain decisions. Sometimes you see like a kick and you're like, oh, that was nothing. But they are there in the pitch. They know the level of aggression. We are just watching on TV. Sometimes it might be serious than it looks. Sometimes it might not be as serious as it looks. But honestly, they are humans and perception. If I am, like today, I'm a Man U fan. If I become an FA coach to referee tomorrow, and I'm wearing that badge, if I see Chelsea and I don't like Chelsea, nobody knows. As much as I'm trying to be fair, Any chance for a penalty, I can just, because these guys are humans, they have clubs they support. There's been conspiracy theories too about, the badge about referees. That's one that is trending now. Emirates, linking to Manchester City, and everything. So tomorrow, Manchester City is playing Chelsea. I'm sure you guys will cry foul. This referee, whoever the referee is, because they are wearing the Emirates badge. So I think he had a bad game for me, but the FA too have come to support the official. So these are some of the things we see in football. We have to accept
So
it.
Owusu, let me add more sort to injury. The FA charged Chelsea and Bournemouth £25,000 each for ill discipline in the last night's game.
Who was in discipline? Who was in discipline?
It's
They
not the
should.
it's not the referee. It is the two teams. They've been charged £25,000 each. So which means out of his atrocities, the FA is earning £50,000 just for that. So you can imagine.
Just for that. You see, you punish a team by giving them so many yellow cards, which is going to affect subsequent games, and then you pile charges on them. Now they are going to pay £25,000 each for indiscipline. Who was indisciplined? Can they also request that whatever was done, no, they should bring maybe except or something from the match. They should be made to write reports to the referees. They should be made to write reports to, so that we can also see from their point of view that this was the reason why they gave this and that, because they take notes, right? So they should be made to bring reports out, like as a FA is saying that we should pay 25,000 for indiscipline. So point out, Sancho did that, Jackson did that, Semenyo did that. Then we know that okay, this went on. That's why he did all of what he did. But if you are charging £25,000 for somebody for somebody not just liking us because we are Chelsea, and we know him, the two FA Cup finals against us now, where he's told for them. We know the other games against Tottenham and some other teams. We will play with a small team and you watch the match and you feel like no, Chelsea is the small team because Anthony Taylor will make us look like we are nobody. And each and every time in a season, he can officiate close to 10 Chelsea matches in a season alone. He has more matches to come. We will see. I'm sure between Manchester City and Manchester United and Arsenal, Liverpool will have him officiating one of those games, and we will definitely lose.
Certainly, you have him.
Yes, we will have him. It's like that,
You have him.
you
But you
know.
will not lose. Don't
So
worry.
as
You will
for
not lose to Arsenal.
Arsenal, whether we lose to Arsenal now or tomorrow, I don't care because Jose Mourinho has made me understand that Arsenal is nobody. So Arsenal can score Chelsea 1,000 in a match. I know Arsenal is nobody to Chelsea, whether they like it or yes. And the record shows you can have the most wins or whatever you have. But when it comes to, the pride of London, it's always blue. The sky is always blue. It can never be red.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Let's talk about the main man of the man of the match. The man of the match himself, Sancho. Sancho. The introduction of Sancho and then his impact on the match. Also let's talk about him. Let's talk about that important player that we have now.
What?
Great,
What?
great, great.
I
So
also I will add to Chris' question, yeah, because I've been thinking of that after the game. While you're adding
okay.
to the performance of Sancho, I want you to also talk about Neto and Sancho, like who should get the starting lineup. We talked about Ahmad and Garnacho in Man U. So now there's a Neto and Sancho, and there'll be a discussion around there. So I want to hear your thoughts about that as well.
So can I proceed with that, or you want me to finish with Sancho? Then I do the distance between the two.
Bro, wax lyrical about the player we have now, the £20 million player we have.
So the £20 million player we have, Jaden Kwabena Sancho Lele.
Sancho Lele, Sancho
Sancho
Lele,
Lele. He,
Sancho Lele.
he, he has made all of us happy today. But for him, I would have frowned today. Him coming on, and he was sort of giving me Hazard vibes. When Hazard gets the ball, he stands, just scrutinizes the area, and then decides what to do. He just comes straight at you. Other than Pedro Neto, who was trying to run with the ball a few times and it wasn't working for him. Sancho took on the defenders directly, and I think they subbed one guy and brought is it Araujo or from the guy from Barcelona, and he was like, okay, I will stay on you. Sancho was like, okay, let's do it, and it was the same spot. He was right in front of him when he gave that nice pass for the goal to happen. So as for Sancho, I'm very happy that he has taken matters into his own hands, and our coach is also defending him very well. He's trying to prove that he wasn't the player that Ten Hag has made people to believe he was or he is. So him coming on and proving the point, winning the 3 points for Chelsea was very crucial to his career reviving. So it was a career statement he made there. Maybe people might not understand. Aside the banters and everything, he's trying to help himself. If he gets a foothold in the team, I think Pedro Neto and Co. maybe next season will have to find somewhere to place them. But they are all new players. Yeah, they are all new players. They are trying to find their balance. So with the
Let me add something to it. He had just 30 minutes and he was the
yeah,
man
just
of the
30
match.
minutes. Yeah,
The guy, the dribbles, the decision. Look, it's not just about how good he was. It's about the decision making. Every decision that he made was spot on.
was perfect.
You
I
see,
was I was
oh
I
God,
was
ah,
I was very happy because this is what we've been expecting from Mikhailo Mudrik for some time now, and he seems to have it. But the last minute decision that he makes is so awful. He just runs the ball over. He just gives the ball. But Sancho was very when I was watching Sancho, I was like, he's going to give us the same vibe Mudrik was giving us. But he went on the first one. He took on the player well. The second time, I was like, no, let me sit up. I was on my bed. Then I stood up and said, no, let me watch the guy. So then I began enjoying the game. And the guys in the back were also throwing
Charlie.
the balls. What?
hey,
The
my
guys
guy,
were
my guy, my guy, you lose your match. Make you no
These
can't
Chelsea
talk
boys.
anything for here. Shut
One
up
week,
for there, I beg.
uh,
Shut up
we
for
were
there.
also
You lose
one
your
week,
match.
throwing
You
the
are Arne Slot things. We go come to you. Wedge,
Sancho is
wedge.
giving you hazard vibes and he's making career statements.
oh,
My guy,
And
my
then,
guy, my guy,
my
my
boy.
guy. You lose your match, oh. Your Arne
see,
Slot, you lose.
we all understand that Sancho is quality player, but then
Yeah.
the issue that coaches have with Sancho has not got to do with his talent. It has got to do with his attitude. We
Mhm.
saw that he could be that top player when he went back to Dortmund, where he helped the team got to Champions League finals.
Champions League
So it's
final, yeah.
not a one match, 30 minutes. This one show that will make us understand that Sancho is a player. So you guys should stop hyping the player like
Oh,
that.
I'm,
And
I'm, I'm
see,
saying
I
for
know
my team
Chelsea fan.
stability
Chelsea
that
fans
we
are
have
very
missed we
sentimental
have missed the hazard vibes for
and
about
are like
4
women.
years now.
See,
Cole Palmer brought us
the
that
next, the
particular
next,
vibe last season, right? And now
Bro,
we have
bros. One at a
Adam.
time, one
Obama
at a
is not
time, one at a time.
Obama is
Okay,
not
one at a
that guy.
time.
Obama is not that guy. I mean, it's just pass the
Look,
ball to
look.
Obama.
Dry,
See,
dry, relax,
yes.
dry, relax. I'll come to you. I know you.
Oh, you guys are
Look, if my
overblowing
audience,
this.
dry, relax, dry. My audience and those who are watching us on YouTube and those who are listening on Spotify.
Mm,
Last week, this guy was bragging. It was
mm.
like they were winning the league.
What?
And then this week,
Who?
we can
Me?
see clearly. Yes,
Me?
he was talking
Bragging?
about having 3 players, they all contributing to the goals, and not there was the videos are there, the evidence are there. This one, these
Oh,
days,
I
whatever
never,
you
I
say is
never
recorded, it's there.
exactly,
And then
exactly. I
now
never
they
brag.
actually
At no
went to a
point in
match where
time
they
did I
couldn't
brag about
score.
it. Honestly, I was just praising the quality at which we are playing, and given the
Oh,
fact that we've not signed a player, we don't have a new signing. The coach has not brought in his own players to execute the kind
yes.
of strategy that he wants to do, and
And
he's
for
only
some
using his
reason,
old players.
relax, bro,
Mhm,
relax. And for
mhm.
some reason, you have the same problem with Chelsea fans talking about Sancho.
Ah,
Yes,
listen,
it is the same thing we are
Very
doing.
bizarre, it's very
listen.
bizarre.
Yes.
I have see the argument is on my side to make because of statistical significance. Sancho has just played barely 50 minutes at Chelsea, and you're already making noise. We saw evidence of Slot tactics proven to be viable when he played his first 3 matches. We won all those 3 matches and we conceded 0 goals. So I have enough reasons and enough grounds to make my argument. And if I bragged, I even have enough reason to brag. But in
And
your
I
case, who knows that maybe Chelsea's Sancho's best game for Chelsea is what he played against and this one Bournemouth yesterday, and he may never know. So relax.
You see, you are just not being fair. You're just trying to troll us. But let me tell you this. This is something we've been missing on the
Guys,
left
guys,
for,
guys, guys,
for,
guys,
for quite
guys,
a while. You understand?
guys,
Our
hold on,
left
guys,
wing
hold on, guys, hold
Dry,
on.
dry,
So
dry.
you
Let him
guys,
let him talk. You are not on the floor now. We are on Chelsea now. Let the
no,
Chelsea
relax,
fans
relax.
talk.
Guys,
We are on
do you
Chelsea.
remember, do you
Relax. We
remember,
are on
do you remember
Chelsea.
Mudrik's,
Relax.
do you remember Mudrik's first game for Chelsea? Do you guys remember Mudrik's first game for
I
Chelsea?
think it was
Mudrik's
against
first game for
Liverpool.
Chelsea, I remember, was against Liverpool.
Yeah, it was against Liverpool. He
Mudrik
really
came
outrun
on as a
them.
sub also. He took on this guy, James Mona. He dirtied him. We heard the noise. Hey, Mudrik, hey, the Messiah is here. Yeah, Hazard region. You saw it.
But yeah, like you are saying,
Relax,
he was
relax,
he was he was
relax,
supposed to be that guy. If he were that good, we wouldn't have gone in for Sancho anyways. But
relax.
I'm trying to. You have to understand me. I'm trying
Mm.
to just balance our equation here. We've been very dysfunctional at our left flank. There's no balls coming in. We don't have players who are really doing it. And our almighty Sterling, who could have helped us, always also want to play on the right. And the right too, we have so many boys there who are also good at it. If they are getting the numbers, we can't say because you're a senior player, we should put you there. We know that you can also at least compromise and stay on the left for us. But when he goes there, nothing comes out. Mudrik will go, nothing. Then we'll try to switch up.
Mm.
So if we have Sancho and within 30 minutes, he has been brilliant. The boy was brilliant because if you watch the Chelsea game, it was boring, like I was saying. It was just after a few introduction of the boys that we started picking up. And then Sancho gave us that vibes. When he picked the ball, he went straight at you, he dribbles, then he
Yes.
sent the correct pass. His passes were always locating
For me,
players.
I'll never. No problem. For me, I'm always not. I'm not. I'm never going to argue against Sancho's quality, but the fact that you guys are making it look like that was Sancho's best
It was a
performance
moment
yesterday.
of
The
brilliance.
point that somebody
A
who
moment
saved
of
you,
brilliance.
who saved the penalty and kept you in the game, kept a clean sheet, that person not even being talked about. All of a sudden,
You
Sancho.
see, this is
Hey,
a sign
You
of
came late,
on the
not
bro.
base,
coming on time.
You
on
came
We
the
late.
base,
actually talked about Sanchez before Sancho. You see,
on,
Sanchez,
see yourself. The
on,
fans who
our
are
man right
watching,
there was Sanchez.
dry, relax. The fans who are watching knows that we talked about Sanchez first, even before we went to any other player. We Chelsea fans,
oh,
we know how to talk about our players. So relax for us. You look. You know what? After this match, we are going to the Liverpool match, and that's what we are going to talk about. So just relax
guys,
for us.
guys, I have a
Relax,
meeting right
relax.
now, so I'm
So
leaving.
you know
Yeah,
what? So
I have a meeting, so I'm leaving. Hey, let me buy
okay.
some
So
banana
as
first.
Dry is now quiet, now we can focus on our special team. Mute yourself, Dry, and then let's talk about our special team. So there's a comment that Maresca made about Sancho, which I think is very 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 crucial. He said that he sees Sancho as a guy who needs love. That's how he sees it. So he's someone who needs love, and then and I want to speak to a Man United fan about it. I didn't want to speak to a Liverpool fan about it because he has played for United. So Michael, what do you think about that
Yeah,
statement from
so
Maresca on Sancho?
that statement is very accurate, you know. So if you go back to Dortmund, Sancho thrives under a good environment. He strives under a good environment. I'm a Manchester United fan, but you know, if you heard everything I've been saying from the beginning, Ten Hag's style, everything about Ten Hag seemed to be wrong. You know, as a coach, you either command respect or command fear. And I'll bring the part of fear into it because of the Ferguson style. When players fear you, you know, there's a way they deliver. Even with Mourinho, with Chelsea, you know, half of the players had this, oh, fear. You know, you make errors, you look at the bench. So back to Sancho, he thrives under a loving environment. You know, Dry has said something. He's a good player. Whatever we say, he's going to deliver for Chelsea beyond what we've seen in Bournemouth. You know, as much as sometimes I also believe that good players don't thrive in Chelsea. Yeah, that's my belief for some reason. There are top players that they've not reached their capacity in Chelsea. So somehow Chelsea kills players. But notwithstanding, Sancho as a person, I wouldn't say he's a young guy. So when you talk about attitude, different players have attitude. If Ten couldn't manage Ronaldo, I don't see if he can manage anybody, even Bruno. He may not be talking about Bruno, but Bruno will probably be giving him tough time in the dressing room. Probably that's why they even made him captain. You know, so like the guy is just problematic. So Sancho would always thrive in a good environment. So he needs love is not something that is new, honestly. If the environment is good and healthy and comfortable for him, he will thrive. He's a good player, fantastic guy. And that's why I asked at the beginning. I was
Uh,
thinking, guy just came in and he will allow Owusu to deal clearly with will it be a Neto or a Sancho? Because if 30 minutes, not just about the 30 minutes, about the contribution to the team generally. Because with what Jackson is doing for you guys will need the Sancho. And Nkuku's injury is not helping matter. So that's it. The love stuff is 100% correct.
so then Owusu wrap it up for us. Just 30 seconds. Neto or Sancho.
So before I hit on the Neto or Sancho issue, I think the statement you made about Maresca saying Sancho needs love, it's very true. You know, that's the reason why Joao Felix left Chelsea, went around, and in the end he chose Chelsea again. If the player feels loved somewhere, they always want to be there, you know. So I think it's very crucial. If we are able to show Sancho more love, and after the goal, I think on the internet, people were showing him more love, and we will continue to do that. Now, between Jadon Sancho and Pedro Neto, Neto, for some reason, I don't know, it's like it's not clicking. I don't know if it's because our Yard Jackson is not banging in the goals, but it's very difficult for a good player who is coming from elsewhere. When you come into a team like Chelsea where there is no consistency, it's very difficult to sell, because if you come and we are already scoring goals, then it feels easier for you to just walk in and do your own stuff. But right now it's very difficult. Our goal scorers are just a few people. If um, Palmer doesn't score, it has to be Jackson or Madueke. You understand? And we keep long to get those goals. So for Pedro, it's going to take some time. Now the issue with the two of them is going to be who impresses the coach most at training. If you perform at training, you are going to play. Now, since Pedro has now seen the competition he has, I think he's going to up his game. And if he ups his game, there's also a competition thrown at Jadon Sancho. So anytime you also come as a sub, prove yourself. So the competition is going to be good for us as fans. But between the two, I think if they all perform, then Maresca will have a very big issue on his hand as to who to start first. Right now,
Okay. So
Madueke,
Owusu, what's your choice?
hold
Choose
on.
one and let's go to dry. I want us to talk
I'm
about the
I'm
Liverpool match.
I'm familiar with Sancho, so if you ask me, I'll go with Sancho. Not because of the stunt he pulled yesterday, but I know Sancho from Dortmund. I've seen him with Manchester United and what he did against Chelsea too. He scored us. I think we played one match and he got a very nice goal. I'm familiar with him. I'm not really familiar with the Neto's game, but if you give me the two on any day, I'll go with Sancho. But Neto is also a very good player.
So now we are pivoting right into the Liverpool match. So we want to talk about the Liverpool match. I heard last week about how wonderful Arne Slot is, how pivotal he's going to be, how he sees the league to be so easy, not just from dry, but from pundits. How he's won all his matches, not considered any goal, and how everything seemed to be moving smoothly. But everyone forgot that the goal scoring wasn't as easy and straightforward as it was with Klopp. That's what I want us to talk about. He is not conceding with his system, but the goal scoring doesn't flow like a Klopp system. You can see that every match it takes a while before they're able to score. So, Dry, what do you think happened yesterday?
Yesterday's game epitomizes what I would call a bad day at the office. Essentially, if you watch the match carefully, you will see that the game plan or the tactics was well executed until the final shot at goal. Right. So yesterday, most of our goal scorers, who are normally very prolific at scoring goals, were not turning up. And at the point in time, I felt that the final decision was also wrong in most instances. The risks that were being taken were too high, and the cost was relatively high. Yeah, in that sense, to that's what led to our downfall yesterday. It wasn't because there is a flaw in the tactics. Even if I think even if there is a flaw in the tactics, it's good in that it helps the team adapt. It helps the coach know what to change and what to adapt and what to tweak here and there, right? But yesterday's game, to focus on that, it's just a matter of a bad day at the office. Like passes were flowing through, the risks were being taken, except that we don't know how our chances didn't end up at the back of the net. Salah had a bad game yesterday, a very, very bad game yesterday. In some instances, passes that needed to go probably to be threaded through for someone else to make the final shot, he took it on his own. And then I think these are the things that cost us. But comparing the goal scoring ability of Klopp's team or Klopp's system as to Slots, I don't think there is that big gap, right? There were times in Klopp's era where we played extremely good games, but then we could not score. A typical example is the game against Real Madrid, the UCL final, the second one, the one we lost by one goal, We played very well. Every shot was going on target. That day, Qatar was super brilliant. The goal didn't end up in the net. So it's the same thing with this one. Rather, I think that if Slot's system or if Slot's style is implemented to its full capacity or to its full potential, I see that we would have the higher chance of getting more goals in that system than Klopp's, because Slot's idea is this: there is a lower chance of you scoring goals through crosses. But if you create overloads at the edge of the boxes, you give a higher chance for people to take a shot at goal, which then increases the chance of you scoring goal, which makes sense to me. It makes sense. So get a lot of players and get a lot of balls to the edge of the box where the players are facing the goal directly, and the angle is wide enough for them to hit shots at any side of the pool, compared to clubs where you saw that occasionally, where we rather saw a normal thing of Trent Alexander-Arnold um, um, placing crosses to attackers for them to feed on. But so I don't think there's any cause for alarm. It's just that we lost the game at Anfield, which is very bad, and it was a game against a lower, I mean, a bottom this one table team, which didn't really augur well for us, and so yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. I know you. If I leave you, you will talk till. Okay, so let's go to the FA coach. Yeah. So Michael, I want to ask you something from a neutral point of view. Do you think this is the beginning of Arne Slot's downfall? Because now that one coach has figured him out, sort of, I think it could be a template for other coaches to also emulate that, and maybe it could be the beginning of Arne Slot's downfall. What do you think?
Yeah, the truth is, I wouldn't say it's the beginning of his downfall. Big teams every season have these bad days in the office. The Chelseas, the Manchester Cities. Well, Manchester United have been having a lot of bad days, especially in Old Trafford. So it's crazy. But Liverpool did, as weird as it is, Liverpool did everything right. But in football, some days some people come against the odds. We're Africans. Like when you're playing football when you're young, where somebody will say, "You see that Owusu today? Even if anybody go score, he no go score." Those things comes in football. Yeah. So that's what happened with like Nottingham yesterday. Like the goalkeeper was at his best, right positioning. It looked like it was everywhere he needed to be. With the attacks, Liverpool had possession. They controlled the pace of the game. They did everything right, but it just was not happening for them. If I would come a bit into Chelsea, it's like what happened to Chelsea? As crazy as the game, Chelsea did everything, well, not so right, but when it was needed, Nkunku was able to, and that was just the difference between Chelsea and Liverpool yesterday. That was just the difference. Nkunku could put the ball at the back of the net, but Liverpool, once they got to the final third, it looks like, okay, what are we going to do next? What are we going to do next? And I always say, the over-reliance, I think during Klopp, we had reliance on Salah. Now with Arne Slot, we have reliance on Luis Diaz. And it's not as so. That is what has led to that competition of, when Salah has the chance, he wants to score. Because now it's no more like a team game up front, it's more like a competition. So Nottingham came with a game plan and they achieved it. That's what I would just say happened yesterday. But we will need maybe a few more games to see if they've discovered and slots, because ordinarily Liverpool is a good team. Even if you any of us were to coach them, we'll probably get results out of them, irrespective of whether they have whether the coach comes with his players. Because I don't know which players he has, whether it's one from PSV or Feyenoord or from wherever in Holland. Those boys that don't have fitness, they want to bring in. No, it doesn't work that way. But it was just a bad day in the market, like I said, which any of us can have. So let's just watch him for a few more games. And I think the guy himself has to drop his pride. You cannot say, "Oh, this is what we want to do." We've seen these things in Premier League. So I'll just keep it at that, my brother.
Okay, Owusu, I want to come to you. How good was Odoi on that day? How good was he?
With my darling boy, Callum Hudson-Odoi has been my boy all like all this while. From where I used to watch my soccer in the evenings and the afternoons at Tabora La Paz, everybody will tell you that as for this boy there, if Odoi is passing cry, once I forget it, Odoi's boy, even if he misplaces a pass, I'll give you a reason to why he misplaces that pass. So seeing Odoi score on such a big stage against such a team, I'm so happy. And we should also be mindful that he was very promising at Chelsea. That's why during the time where he was kind of picking up and Bayern Munich came, the Bavarians came to get him. Chelsea were so reluctant and were just increasing his price tag like week in, week out. He was very promising, but it was just something that was missing. I don't know whether he lacked confidence or because of the injury that he got under Sarri that scared him. But Odoi coming out against Liverpool, man, I was so happy. And to see a former Chelsea player head them, you can just imagine the joy. But all being said, Liverpool, I think they looked a bit fatigued, because when we go for international breaks, that mostly the big teams they suffer because most of their players will be in action. Flying in and out also has its own ups and downs. So that was it for Anslot. Yes, he was slotted by Nuno Espirito, and you know Espirito already from Wolves. He has been whipping Pep Guardiola already. We know him. We know Nuno Espirito. So I think it was just that moment of brilliance that his sub Hudson Odoi gave in the game that gave them the 3 points, and to win at Anfield. I think it was over 55 years. In 55 years, they've never won. I don't know if they've ever won, but that was the report I was getting. But in 55 years, they've never won anything at Anfield. And for Odoi to do that, come on, you should know I'm full of pride. And for a Ghanaian to do that, come on, man, I'm so happy.
Okay. I'm coming back to United. Looking at how Odoi was able to dominate this Liverpool super team under the Arne Slot and all that, and how they just made United look like a very small team and all that. Is it that Liverpool are that good, or United is just bad?
Okay,
Michael.
so yeah, when it comes to rivalry, it's a different ball game. Um, I'm sure we'll go into the Arsenal game later, but when we talk about the local derbies, the rivalry, and football, it's crazy. So even on Manchester United best days, Liverpool has had a way around them. Like in football, we Africans we say Chelsea get their girlfriend, Man U get their girlfriend. You're like, no matter how good Arsenal is, Man U sure has a way around them. Chelsea too will know their opponent that, see, if you like, play from today to tomorrow. Even when we are not playing well, we will still find a way around. So I think that's what has happened with Liverpool and Manchester United. Liverpool just has a way, both teams are coming with, character. Behind the scene, I was also sharing some ideas also when we talk about Liverpool. We're talking about like what happens like with teams. On the overlap show, for example, they talk about like you see Gary Neville angry about how after that kind of fixture you're going to exchange jersey. Like you don't know the magnitude of the match you just lost 3-0. You should be frowning and be going home. But so Liverpool just has a way around Manchester United. It's so sad, you know. And if you also check in the past like 3-4 years, they've led to our coaches being sacked. So the last game was not anything different. Yesterday was not anything different for me. It was just that whole poor performance, not doing the right things at the right time, you know, poor timing, no support, just typical Man U, you know, mess up. So you can't even blame one player because the other players are not helping each other. They're not helping to cover those spaces. So Liverpool are not extraordinary. Like I said, compared to what has happened with Nottingham, it's just the off day in the market. And that is the beauty of Premier League. We cannot take that away. That is the beauty of Premier League. If you watch the post-match interview, you hear the commentator saying, even for Southampton to have lost that match, it's not an interpretation of the game. One. Two, over the years with Southampton, Man U has always found it difficult to beat them in St. Mary's if you want to follow record. So sometimes it's just football. Let's even come back to Man City. We're talking about rivalry and how teams can perform. Man U won the FA Cup. Does that make Man City a bad team? It doesn't. It's just football. It's just football. Sugar, you're shy. It's just football. So that's it.
Okay, so thanks for your analysis. We are going straight to the major match of the weekend, Arsenal versus Tottenham, and then we it was a London derby, and I think at the end of the day, Arsenal won by 1 goal to 0. I think the first 30 minutes, I think I watched the match and I realized one statistic that really caught my eye. That the first 30 minutes, the Arsenal player with the most touches was their goalkeeper, Raya. Owusu, say something about this.
It tells you the whole story behind that game. You know, for a match of this magnitude, you know, the North London rivalry, and who came out as the man of the match? I think it was Gabriel, right? A defender, yeah, a defender to get the man of the match award, and it means something. I think the press was so high. They were doing their own thing as Tottenham, trying to fight back. But Arsenal at the end of the day, they got it. If I won't be so surprised because most of the balls were played at the back. You know, these days this new thing that's evolving, let's play from the back, let's play from the back thing, you know. Yeah, I think it could be a contributing factor, but like I'm saying, the press was so high. I watched the few minutes, and it was very fierce. Players coming at each other and all of that stuff. So for Sanchez to be, is it Raya to be getting more touches than any of the other players, it should tell you how they were pressed. But just one moment of brilliance, like we have all been saying, it's like this week certain players are showing up. We didn't expect those players to turn up, but they are turning up. So it was the same thing with the Arsenal game. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, so Michael, it looks like they were missing some important players in Odegaard and all that. Was it a contributing factor to why Arsenal was dominated like that on the field of play?
So I wouldn't say so. Because now the players for the lineup are the players that can deliver at any time. So Odegaard being like the captain is just like the contributing like influence is about influence. But if he's not there, Trossard has shown that over time he can deliver coming from the left position. You had Bukayo Saka and Havertz. So only Odegaard the only thing that will probably miss is that influence that he brings to the team. The forcefulness. As the captain, there's this influence you bring to your players. You know what, guys, we can't be 1-0. We need to do this. We need to push, and you lead by example. Try to make things work. Try to make things happen. You get so the lineup looks fantastic. Because in the end, that's why you have a squad. That's why you have it's just like we're talking about the Neto and the Sancho. Whoever is available, we cannot say, oh, because Neto is not playing or Enzo. Personally, when we talked about the Enzo, I'm sorry to go back, but when we talked about Enzo, personally, I think I was happy that he, at least, let's see, like you said, let's see what happens without him. Because sometimes you over reliance on a particular player will make you think, oh, maybe the player is. But if you check, there was this fluid movement in the midfield than when Enzo is there, because Enzo travels with the ball a lot. That's my perception. He wants to go before. It's difficult for him to release. And for when you have fluid players like the Netos, the Sancho, these people going forward, you need to release this ball. So whether Odegaard was there or not, I think that's not the impact. They just also, had the typical. If you notice, just before the end of last season, Arsenal had trouble playing games away. In fact, it was almost like if they were going away, they are likely to lose. I don't know whether it's the pressure of the title or all that stuff, but it was that. But before I would pause, I want to just say to your first point you asked Owusu about Raya. So I have my board here. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah. So when Pep started this in 2008, there's a sentence you would have heard where they say is to make the pitch bigger. So players without the ball are always tensed, while players with the ball are comfortable. It's typical football. So what happens is, if this is red now, Arsenal, by the time the balls keep going around this area, this axis, the third quarter, what happens is that everybody up here moves, come down the frame. So what has happened is you are looking for the kill, either from the left or the right, to beat the high line, and this is the space. So with Pedro and the Kluskowski, they like to stay in the middle. But with the game going on, you have to put on the press, either man to man or zona. So all they were just trying to do was to bring Tottenham to the game and kill them, because you have Lisandro Trossard, who is good with dribbling, one on at least 1-to-1 or 1v2. He can handle players. So what we're just trying to do was to kill the morale. So it might look like time wasting. They're just passing the ball, right? Is distributing, passing the ball. Because if you have more touches, you give to Saliba, he gives you back. You take it to the end, it comes back. They're just trying to sample and kill the energy, because Tottenham is an energy team. So you just kill the energy, bring them out, and attack the space. So that's it.
Okay, I think also what about the defensive display? Because they were all over that. Let's talk about the statistics just to make things clear. So the possession, Tottenham had 64%, and then Arsenal had 36. Tottenham had 15 shots and then 5 on target, and then Arsenal had 7 shots and 4 on target. And then the passes was 492 as against 281. The pass accuracy for Tottenham was 88%, and then as against 75% of Arsenal. So with these statistics, it clearly shows that Tottenham dominated. But the defensive display, I think everyone is talking about Gabriel, but from my point of view, Saliba was excellent. He made some stoppages of like some tackles. Sorry, some tackles that, especially during the first half, where their record signing. I think what's the name? Is it another Chelsea player from the in Tottenham now? Solanke. Solanke. Solanke had a chance where they pressed them, and then there was a misplaced pass where he had a chance to shoot, and then Saliba made that tackle. I think that tackle was the main reason why they didn't go down, because at that spot he was likely to score, but he made that tackle, and from that point I just wrote it down that their defensive display will be the reason why they can win this match. Owusu, what do you think about how they defended in this match?
Yeah, Saliba has been one of the best things that has happened to us now. They've struggled a bit with this Gabriel, and the old Gabriel that Hazard dribble. That's the one I'm talking about. So for him going on loan and coming back to cement his place in the team, I think he's done so well. So for Saliba, I'm not really surprised. But for you saying the Tottenham really control the game, yes, it's true. And that moment of that blaze of a moment where Saliba stopped Solanke's ball was also part of the reason why they were able to maintain their composure. And then out of nowhere, Gabriel just rose high and then got a goal for them. So for Arsenal, they've been building this for a very long time. People are coming in, they are getting players, they are making sure they are doing the right things. And Arteta's system, right from Pep. So you shouldn't be so surprised if they are able to defend that well and they are also able to attack. Matches like this, if it was old Arsenal, we know that eventually they would have drawn or lost. But right now you are seeing an upgrade of the previous, like the old Arsenal. They are even trying to manage games. And you saw the goal. He just pushed this guy Pedro Puro or whatever his name is. He just pushed him slightly and he just rose up and then he scored the goal. So that moment of downness on Pedro's side, then everything was damaged for them. So yeah, Arsenal
So,
has
so, so the ultimate question to Michael is that can they win the league this year? Can they win the league? Is
Well,
it
I wish
enough?
the
What do you think?
Arsenal
Is it
fan guy
enough?
was here. Arsenal cannot win.
Pep is not dead.
Arsenal cannot win the league. It's a sad, for 2 seasons, I've placed bets with my friends or anybody that cares to listen that Arsenal cannot win the league. And this is the reason. At the beginning of the show, Owusu said something about, I think it was Owusu or yourself, talked about Chelsea. And while you were talking about Chelsea, I was smiling because what came to my mind is, yes, you were talking about the youngest team. And I was like, you have come to Arsenal's route. Because in my head, I'm like, I would ask you whether you answer today or next week. What is Chelsea's original plan? You said it's a project. So if you have these young players, what is the plan with these young players? What do you want to achieve next year? What is the real target? Because the truth is, young, talented squad will not win you the league. You need players with experience and character. Even if you say Man City have some young players, if you check for some weird reasons, they've been exposed to situations through their manager, through fixtures, through games, and through the level of experienced players they have that they either played with before they left or they are playing with now. So Arsenal, we just talked about Odegaard, and I was telling you about influence. But Odegaard cannot bring character because he's also young, he's inexperienced. He has not been in the big stage where he has not been where it matters most. They've not done stuff. So that's why every time they get to a certain stage and they collapse for almost like 3 seasons, Arsenal has been like top of the league for like first 3 months. In fact, last 2 seasons was worst till January. Like really. So what is going wrong? Oh, Arteta is building a team. So even sometimes if you're a fan of, like, as you are for Chelsea, you're thinking, oh, the young team, they are playing where they are improving. As much as you're enjoying the games, enjoying the result, is that all you want? You want trophies. You want to be among the elite. So to be there, you need those character that would push it. And trust me, Arsenal does not have it. Now, with what has happened today, maybe they are learning. I like what Owusu said about, maybe they are adjusting. Arsenal before now, at least before this season, will be on the possession side. But really, let's look at what has happened with Liverpool. They had possession, but they didn't win the game. Clearly, it's what has happened to Arsenal. Tottenham, like I told you, Tottenham is a powerful team, and that's why I showed you that on the board. They want to press. They can't sit without the ball. They want to press. But what has the possession ended up to? Saliba is really coming to the game. Gabriel is a beast. So those guys, they can put their life on the line. The goalkeeper too is waking up because he's looking for a first team shirt in Spain. So there are a lot of things happening in the team now. But winning the league, not this season.
Owusu, what do you think? Are they winning the league?
for like you said, for the Premier League, for you to come up and win it, bro, it's not easy like that. So for those who are able to do it in the Pep's era, like you say, Klopp and Conte, they really had the players. You had for Conte's season, you had Costa proven, you have Andre Schella from no, it's not Andre Schella. You have Fabregas, you have Hazard, Marcos Alonso. These players are proven. They've faced situations. They've been there before. They've played big matches in the Champions League and outside the Champions League. So they understood the test of time. These are the kind of players you win trophies with. You know, Arsenal for some funny reasons. I think for the last 2 or so years, no, they've not come close to the finals of EFL or FA Cup. It's only the Premier League that they are so focused is on, and it's not even enough. You know, with the kind of players you have, somebody like Aves, I heard a statement last season that Chelsea fans were hurt because he left us. If he is watching this, he should listen. We were never hurt. Actually, we wanted him to leave. I was so tired of Aves. He will see a player running into space and decide to turn back and play the ball backwards. Maybe he has stopped for now because I stopped watching. He has stopped for now because he wants to prove a point. But players like Havertz and Co, yeah, if you get good players around them, they can surprise you. He won as a Champions League, no doubt about that. But that character they those kind of players have, you don't have many of them. You have Jorginho, he's there, he can do it. But Jorginho is sort of too feeble to give you that energy to press on something like this. Pep will always outsmart you. So if you don't get proven players to help these boys, my friend, they will just be wandering in the first and second position for like ages, unless Pep leaves or he dies. Right now, the only thing we are praying for is for Pep to leave. If he doesn't leave, then you can't ask him to die too, bro.
You know, we can't ask him to die. He should go and take the
So
England job. That's all he needs to do.
he has monopolized the league. So for Arsenal, they are the only team who have come very close to the top four, but they are not showing character. I'm telling you this: if Liverpool, Chelsea, or Manchester United were playing at Arsenal's level with an experienced coach, they would have won the league by now. Just imagine Chelsea being close. If Chelsea is on top of the table by December to January, if you like, go and bring
Blood
what's the
and
man's
water. Blood
bring
and
everybody.
water.
Bring everybody. Once we bend that curve into January and the winter is over and we get into February and we are still on top. Come on, bro. There's no beating us. But Arsenal is not like that. I think for about the last 2 seasons, they played until the the last 5 games, and they drew about 4 or 5 matches and they just lost everything.
And they lost to Aston Villa. That was the turning point. They lost to Aston
How
Villa.
how
That was
how
the
can you
turning
do that?
point.
So, unless they are willing, they are going to tell us that they are going to prove beyond reasonable doubt that they are really fit for it. But for what I'm seeing is like the same old stuff. For them to win, it will take a lot because Pep is still around, and Pep with his quality players, they will hurt you anytime.
Let me add to what Owusu was saying. You know, Owusu gave an example. I'm sticking with Chelsea. Look at the names of the coaches you called. Let's even forget the Diego Costas and the like. So compare them to Arteta. So as the boys are coming, him is also developing as a coach. So it's not like him himself is there. Because
Yeah, there's no
Conte would have entered the pitch in one of those games if he was in Arsenal.
yeah,
He will enter the pitch because he knows what him as a coach knows what it means to be there. So
yeah.
you can transfer. So it's the same thing with Pep. Pep is leading 2-0, and you know, I was watching him yesterday. He was still screaming
It's not even
at
yeah,
2-1. He was still screaming. I'm like,
yes.
no, calm down. But that is the
You know,
character. He knows what it means to be there to win the league. So we can play around. Arteta needs to work on that.
Pep, Pep, even when he's winning 4-0 or 5-0, and you miss a chance, he will just get up and just be doing his things, just be doing his things. I was like, Pep, you are winning 4-0, and it's like 15 minutes or 10 minutes to close. There's no way these people are coming back. Even if they can score 3 or 2 goals in the space of 5 minutes, there's no way I'm going to let them win. But this man will still give you the energy and charge the players on. It's the final whistle,
Bro,
or we
bro,
are not
someone whose father says that at the dinner table he comes for family dinner and he'll be doing tactics on with the fork. He'll be drawing tactics. And this guy is obsessed with football. I don't
just
know how
imagine.
we can take
How can
over.
you
I
win
just
against
don't
such a
know.
person?
I just give up, bro. I give up. And now he's realized that the league is so easy for him that he's actually created versions of himself to fight him. in Maresca and Ateta just to see if he can
You get it?
challenge. They can
You get it?
challenge him. Look at how it's just ridiculous, you know.
The truth is this. Posco said something that where people cannot beat Pep today is the way he has created his ideas on players. Because the truth is, as much as we are saying it, the caliber of players that his recruitment too we should give him thumbs up, because there's some of these players that until they come to Man City, I don't know them. And when they come to Man City, they are like, wow, like they are doing stuff. So he gets the quality, he's not contesting with anybody in the market. He now infuses his ideas on them. So they are almost like they are robotic. So it's a mixture of the two, the ideas, the talent, and how much they can continue with the idea going forward. In fact, it's so bad that Pep idea is so much on their players that it affects them in their country. Check it out. Rodri is playing, but he won't give the best that he will give when he's in Man City, because there's an approach. And is he talking about the same impact of the coach? If the coach in Spain is maybe a bit relaxed, Rodri too will be relaxed. But they know that Pep wants the best out of them every day, even if it's 10-0.
Okay,
No,
guys, thank you
Pep,
so much. Thank you so much. I think the time is fast spent. We can't continue. But if you watch till the end, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you are listening, follow us on Spotify and all the other places wherever you get your podcast from. We promise you that every weekend we are going to bring you more and more. You can see how coach is folding his tactical board. I can tell you, this week he didn't really come prepared, but from next week going, I'm telling you, we are going to delve into the tactical bits, and hopefully United will lose so that we will see how he can compose himself. We will see how he can compose himself and give us all the tactical analysis. As it has been great, thanks to all the pundits whoever contributed. And if Arsenal is going to win the league, Arsenal fans, comment and tell them that you can win the league. Chelsea fans, tell them that you can still win with kits. Challenge them in the comment section. Challenge them. Don't accept whatever the pundit are saying. They are not the final say in whatever they are saying. You can also speak your mind, and when it gets to some time, you will select some fans to also come and defend their team on the pod. So thanks to everyone for coming, and just always remember that this pod we are going to do a Premier League analysis and one banter. See you again the same time next week. Thank you all. Bye bye.